Thank you, Mr. Farley. I've got so much to say about you, so you're going to have to be quiet for just a moment.
Okay.
And I
I'll
don't
sit
want you
back.
to I don't
I'll
want you to
sit
get
back and
embarrassed
relax.
because I'm going to be saying all these good things, but
Okay.
it all shows up on the internet. You can run, but you can't hide,
Okay.
So, William Farley, American businessman, financier, and philanthropist. He is the sole owner of Farley Industries, private equity firm based in Chicago. He is the owner and CEO of Bodywise International, and you've had a long and distinguished professional life with accolades and accomplishments that, taken individually, could define a successful life. But taken as a whole, this paints a portrait, and I like that little portrait behind you, by the way, of a Renaissance man, also called the universal man, and defined as a man that can do all things well. You feeling like Superman now?
Yeah, I'm sitting more upright in my chair.
So, two quotes come to mind. And one, I love this one. The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. And the other one, working hard for something we love, is called passion. Clearly, there's passion here. And here's just a partial list of all the many things you've done. You're an accomplished college athlete. And you worked, I love this. This is just the best because I think my mom might have bought encyclopedias from you. You were a very diligent door to door salesman for an encyclopedia company. And you became head of training for that company nationwide. You attended the Boston College Law School. You risked your life savings to leverage a buyout of American citrus products at 34 years old. That was just a couple of years ago, right? And,
Right.
and that was the beginning of Farley Industries. And then you went on to become part owner of the Chicago White Sox. And you've built an empire which included household names like Fruit of the Loom. And in the 1990s, your company employed more than 50,000 people with sales of over $4 billion. As they say, with great power comes great responsibility. And I know you take that very seriously. Your extensive history of generous philanthropy epitomizes that statement. So, Mr. Farley, where does all this passion come from?
Well, first of all, thank you, Karen, for doing this program. You and I have talked a little bit before, and I keep saying you've got one of the great voices. You could be Paul Harvey and Bill Curtis and all these fellows, but it's great to be here with you tonight, and
Thank you.
I'm appreciative of what we're doing. Where does the passion come from? I don't exactly know, honestly. It's a complicated question. It may seem like a simple question, but it's complicated. I was thinking about this. I think it comes from, first of all, my parents. I mean, they were very special in the sense of just hardworking, very down to earth kind of people. Not a lot of money, right? But very good values. And I think to get to the passion part, but before I get there, I think I've had a lot of really great people in my life, including mom and dad and others, teachers in school, in elementary school, in high school, who kept saying, "Gosh, kept praising me. You're doing well." And you start to feel, I'm going to raise myself a little bit in the chair. You feel really good about yourself. It gives you confidence. And then you try to figure out, once you have the confidence, you start to figure out, where am I going in life? And frankly, I'll get back to that later, but I originally thought I'd be a doctor. When I was in high school, I thought I'd be a doctor. When I went to college, I actually took a number of pre-medical courses, even though it's a liberal arts college.
Sure.
I took because in my little town in Rhode Island, which is a working class city in Rhode Island, I saw that there weren't many business people, but there were doctors and lawyers who were successful and respected. And I thought, well, maybe I'll be a doctor. I had always had an interest in health and nutrition. And so where does the passion come from? I don't exactly know, but I do know that there are a lot of ingredients, including mentors and people who encouraged me, and some great parents and some great genetics. And we can talk further about that, but that's part of the background to it all.
That's fantastic. So, what are the issues maybe in this life today that you are currently most passionate about?
Health and nutrition.
I love it.
Really, I used to I never took health for granted. But now that I joke. I used to, when I make presentation, I'd say, people, I'm over 50, and I kind of get a chuckle. And then I'd say I'm over 60, and I'd get a chuckle. And then I'd say I'm over 70. Okay, I'd say, oh, well, I'm over 70.
Like, wait a minute.
and I'd say, okay, hey, stop, guys. And now, I don't broadcast this, but I'm going to be 81 in 2 months.
And sharp as a tack.
And I'm feeling great. And I do think it's partly because I've been very respectful and passionate for health and nutrition. And when I say health and nutrition, what does it mean? It means, leading the life of what will keep you really up there. And that's, whether it's sleep or whether it's nutrition, whether it's exercise, and of course, supplements.
Yes,
and
yes,
I know we'll get to body wise and supplements, but when you ask, where does some of this come from? I do think the energy and all that comes from leading a certain life that's a disciplined life with a lot of focus, a lot of passion. And one of my key passions, as you asked the question, is for health and nutrition and how to assist others.
Yes.
Just me. It's not all about me, right? You know that with your husband and yourself. It's not about us necessarily. We're in pretty good shape. We know what to do and how to do it. And what we're trying to do is educate others.
Yes.
Give them the wherewithal in terms of product and knowledge so that they can be leading the kind of optimal life that they'd like to.
No, absolutely. We're really excited because our son has decided to become a personal trainer. And he's been enjoying BodyWise products since he's been 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
And he is really, really loyal about it. And he's got an incredible trainer that he goes to. And it's wonderful to watch this 19-year-old young man grow up and be so mindful of his well-being. But he's learning, and he is excited someday to take over this business. So,
by the way, just to pick up on two things you just said. One is children.
Yes.
Whenever you talk about your children, you have a different facial expression, and not just you.
It's true.
Not just you, but all of us, right? Because we're genetically engineered to really care for these characters, even though they can be, an issue. They can create some issues for us. But I find that with myself. When I talk about my children, I change my attitude. And there's not enough we can do for our children. That's just the way we're genetically engineered.
Absolutely.
And I'll make a quick comment about trainers. Some of the most important people in my life today and previously have been trainers that I've worked with. I've had ups and downs in my career. I know you made it sound like fantastic and everything is wonderful, and it has been, right? You're CEO of Fruit of the Loom. You run a company with 50,000 people. You've made a lot of money. By anyone's definition, you've been pretty successful. So having said that, though, you got ups and downs. Nothing is straight up, right?
Never.
So I've had my ups and downs, and there was one trainer, I call him Big Al. I had this trainer, I call him Big Al, and we correspond today. And he used to have a phrase, "You don't go down for nobody, Joey. You don't go down for nobody." So if I was having a bad day, he'd come in and he'd lift my spirits and say, "You don't go down for nobody, Joey." And
I love that.
We do our workout, and by the end of the workout, I'm back on top of the mountain, no matter what.
And it does take. So you've been a swimmer, and what other sports have you been involved in?
I came from a state, Rhode Island. I grew up in Rhode Island, which at that time I thought Rhode Island is like California, is like Illinois, is like Florida. They're all the same. They're not really. Rhode Island's a small state. But I was a scholar athlete. I did extremely well in school with grades. And I was all state in a couple of sports in Rhode Island. And I thought, wow, that's pretty impressive. Not knowing that, there's a bigger world out there. Being all state in Rhode Island might not be the same as being all state in California. But having said that, Um, I did play 3 sports. I played football, I played
Nice.
baseball, and I also swam competitively. So
Nice.
I've always been, but I've always wanted to be exercising. I've always wanted to be healthy and active, and that just came naturally. And unfortunately, I had some gifts as an athlete, so I did play those 3 sports, high school and even college.
I bet your parents went to a lot of games.
My mother, in particular,
Yeah, I bet. Of course,
my
a good
mother in
mom.
particular,
So
right?
one of the things I'm fascinated with, because I've been in corporate America, and it's reported that you spent over $3 million on programs at your subsidiaries that encourage physical fitness, good nutrition, and smoking cessation. I mean, that's huge. And
Yeah.
you also travel to work sites and ask people about the quality of their food and their facilities. Tell me more about that because that is something that is so rare. And it just, that really hit me. I thought, wow, that's impressive and
Right.
shows your level of commitment.
Yeah, thank you. And honestly, that's one of my passions. I mean, that's one of the things I feel most, when you say that, it creates a feeling in me about, yeah, I mean, that's who I am, and that's one of the things I did. Let me tell you why. When I was in high school, I worked at a company in Rhode Island, a toy manufacturer named Hasbro. Good company.
Oh, yeah.
They had this old factory, multi-story, 4 stories, and my job was to bring product to each and every individual that was making these toys. And they were on piecework. And if you missed the time, I mean, they got pretty upset because they were on incentive. And it was not air conditioned, and it was multi-floor. And I would go in at 7 a.m. as a 60-year-old kid. It was 100 degrees in there.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, wow, when I owned some of these companies, I thought, how would I like to be treated as an employee? Because I was an employee when I was younger, right? So how would I like to be treated? I'd like to have air conditioning if it's possible. I'd like to have better toilet facilities for sure. Um, I'd like to be treated respectfully, and so forth and so on. And so I thought one of the things I could do because of my interest and passion for health and fitness was to create these health and fitness programs. And so for thousands of individuals, not just one factory, but every factory that we owned, every facility we owned. And I brought in back then, this is in the 80s, so this is really unusual in the 80s, right? I brought in a director of wellness. I mean, what was wellness back then? I mean, there's no such thing as a director of wellness. So, and her responsibility and my responsibility, and I took it very personally, was to make sure that we had health facilities with running tracks, gymnasiums, proper toilet facilities, air conditioning if it were possible. I mean, all those things. No smoking programs. My
That's
dad died of
fantastic.
my dad died of lung cancer. I always knew from day one, and I can't tell you why. I always knew smoking was not good for you.
I used to hide my dad's cigarettes.
There you go.
I was
Yeah,
so, you gotta live, Dad. And he's still
yeah.
alive. He's 83, but I would hide them. And he
Well,
stopped in his 40s.
God bless him. But when my dad was in his 60s, he got lung cancer. And back then, gosh, there weren't many solutions to lung
No,
cancer.
there weren't.
Ultimately, it caused his death. But I thought, anyway, bottom line, you want people to be happy and healthy if they're working for you. You want to respect them, and you want to present the best possible environment you can for them. And that was my goal. And so I didn't care if it took an extra dollar. The goal was to give them the best working environment. And by the way, I had union, it wasn't just for the Loom. I own one of the largest automotive manufacturers in the country, for Ford, for General Motors.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had United Auto Workers as an employee. When I did some of these things, they said, okay, what's he doing? What's he trying to, he's trying to pull something over on us by being so
Well,
nice.
and back in the day, there were a lot of smokers in that area of the world.
Right.
So
But
good
they
for
also
you.
felt, but they weren't used to an employer that would do these kind of things without it being demanded through a union
Sure.
kind. I just volunteered these things, and they're going, okay, what's he up to?
What's he up to? Well, no,
But
just to me, what a great program. I mean, that I think people today could take that to heed and try to help
right.
people be healthy. I mean, imagine decline in maybe some of the health expenses if you helped people manage their health. So this is going to be a great segue. You founded a health and beauty company called Ziri that was endorsed by Deepak Chopra, and you
Right.
also acquired BodyWise International, and you kept BodyWise. What stands out for you about BodyWise, the company of BodyWise?
Product quality,
Mm-hmm.
right? A long history of product quality. You had doctors that would help with the formulations, and Tom Tierney, God bless him, Tom Tierney took this very seriously in terms of manufacturing a quality product and ensuring that when you were talking about a product, a supplement, and the ingredients and what it could do for the individuals, that you could deliver on that promise. And so when I bought BodyWise, I thought, given my history and my interest in health and nutrition, I wanted to continue that legacy of Tom, which is to have the best products available in the marketplace because they really can make a difference in people's lives and their health. And so, that was a big reason why I sold Zri. That was, as you say, that was with a partnership with Dr. Deepak Chopra. But I said, I love BodyWise. I love the
Thank you for
products.
keeping it.
I do, but I have a passion about, I use almost all the products and I go, wow, it's a lot of
We do
products.
too. We do too. I have a dear friend who's a nutritionist, and we got her started on BodyWise, I think about a year and a half ago. And she said, out of all the products I've ever tried in my life, she goes, I feel the difference. She goes, this is absolutely phenomenal. Also, local pharmacist. She goes, this is my go-to product. So, and I know from my own experience, what it's done for our family, and, my parents, myself, my husband, absolutely, superior quality products. And we just are so grateful that someone like you is at the helm and supporting, continued products. I know you've got some good things coming,
We do.
and we can't really talk about it much,
Well, we
but
could. Maybe we could
I'm
drop.
on the trial of this, and 9 pounds down, by the way,
Wow.
because
Wow.
I gained some COVID weight, just
Wow.
sitting behind the desk too much, and I'm a very active person, so it was actually getting a little frustrating. But I'm not one of those that would ever try and the quick fixes. I'm like, I
Right.
know I need to do this naturally, so
Right.
I'm very excited about it. I think you've got something really good going there. So thank you for always innovating. And I've been doing a lot of talking here. So what do you think for the future for BodyWise? Where do you see
Well,
things?
well, first of all, let's continue Tom's legacy, and we'll continue to turn out great products and make available great products for individuals. And of course, where are we going from here? I mean, it's not just where are you today, it's always
Sure.
where can you go tomorrow? People talk about artificial intelligence, and that's exciting, right? And I talk about new products and what might. So let's just drop a hint. I mean, one of the things you're talking about is I walk through a Walmart or I walk through an airport, I look around and I go, ooh, some people really need to think about their nutrition and their metabolism, right? Mm-hmm. And so one of the things we're doing, and I'm excited about, and you kind of referenced it, is a new product, and we're going to call it Reshape. So Reshape Your Body. We'll introduce it in the next couple of months, I think. And I think that's a big boost because it's hard to carry. Some people are just carrying around a little too much of the adipose.
Well, and as we age, females, I know it's much more difficult.
Yeah.
It used to just fly off of me, but not anymore. I've got to really work hard now.
It's interesting. My wife, Shelley, who's a wonderful person and great looking and all that, and she works out all the time. And she looks at me and she goes, how can you stay like that? And she said, we eat the same, or I eat less, she says, and I'm putting on weight and you're staying the same.
Exactly.
It is genetics and it is metabolism. And it's the way it is. That's life. But in any event, we're going to have so what am I excited about? I'm excited about the future of BodyWise, the new product programs, and some of the things that you and I and the good doctor have been discussing about the future of BodyWise and how to make it better for everyone and how to improve incomes and what else can we do to make this widely spread to so that people can take advantage of these supplements.
Well, I'm just really grateful for this time with you, and thank you for, all of your involvement with BodyWise. I mean, what a legacy. And I hope that we can continue to, share this mantra, this message with people about, health and nutrition is completely available to you. And it's exciting. It's very exciting. So thank you, Bill.
Well, it's great. I don't usually do this, right? I'm normally introducing. We have some guests tonight for dinner, and I said, hey, excuse me, I've got to go do an interview. And I said, I don't normally do this. I mean, I'm normally on for 2 minutes and say, hey, Karen, please talk, and I'm off, right? But tonight, this has been fun for me. I mean, I really do. BodyWise is very important to me. I know you mentioned Fruit of the Loom and all these other companies that I've owned, and that's Chicago White Sox and all that. And yeah, I mean, it's all been great, but there's nothing I'm more passionate about than being the owner of BodyWise and being able to offer these supplements to a wide variety of people and improve their health and nutrition. And that's very important to me. It's important to my family, and it's important to everyone that I associate with. And so, Karen, I want to thank you for doing this with me tonight.
Thank you, sir. Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of your meal.
First of all, let me say, before she talks, Sylvia's amazing. I mean, Sylvia, are you on there?
Yes, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Okay, good. Anyway, well, aloha, and of course, it's always nice to be on the call. I've been with BodyWise now for quite a while, and I've had great benefits. Of course, I kind of was the one instrumental in bringing the AIE10 into birth, because my doctor was the one who created the product. At first, I was only taking AIE10, but as I began to realize the value of all the other products, the AM and PMs and Women's Advantage and the whole ball of wax, there is nothing out there. There's absolutely nothing that can compare.
Hey, Sylvia, thank you. You're one of the great advocates of BodyWise, and I think you're a living testament to the quality of the product and what it can do for you. By the way, my mother-in-law just turned 98, and she's a living testament to the quality of the product, because she uses a lot of these products, and she's amazing. And her mind is good, and her body is good. She has someone come in with her on a daily basis. She lives by herself, but she runs these women ragged. She takes them to the mall, and they can't keep up with her. And I'm serious. And she's 98. And I got to credit BodyWise for a lot of that reason why she can do that. Anyway, thank you, Sylvia.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, we have another youngster in the room by the name of Steve Hughes, who I'm sure has a comment or a question.
Stop laughing, Bill. Come on now. I am in this group. I'm feeling pretty strong. I just, really honestly, in all seriousness, just want to thank you for carrying on the BodyWise mantra, really, and you mentioned it earlier with Tom Tierney and how this company was even founded was on quality, bioavailable nutrients that actually made a difference. And I appreciate the fact that if somebody had to buy BodyWise, that it happened to be you, because it takes passion and commitment to spend the money that I know you spend on nutrients and turn down nutrients that are a lot cheaper. So I appreciate that, and it's why I've been with BodyWise for 34 years.
Thank you, Steve. I'm so pleased that you were able to make some comments here, and I'll tell you what. One of the reasons why. Number one, I mean, there's no better advocate for BodyWise and the products than Steve Hughes. So that's number one. But also, in a more light sense, I was talking with Jean-Paul earlier today, and I said, did Steve make any comments that he's not going to introduce Karen? And, because normally the routine is Jean-Paul introduces me, and then I turn it over to Steve, and then Steve introduces the person who's going to be interviewed. And so Steve says—
Steve has been coaching me, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good coach. He's a good coach. But so Steve made the remark that he's been benched. And so, Steve, I'll just say, you've only been benched for tonight, and it was for good reason. We wanted to make sure it's focused and streamlined and one-on-one with Karen. But I can't think of anyone that's a better advocate, more loyal, better customer, better promoter, and a believer in the product than Steve Hughes. So thank you, Steve.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Karen's amazing. We've had the opportunity over the last couple of weeks to have a little bit more one-on-one, and she's amazing for a number of reasons. Her husband's amazing, Dr. Waja, right? I mean, there's no one, the two of them as a duo, truly amazing. And
I call him the man that knew too much.
Yeah. But anyway, it's been great to do this one-on-one. I mean, I've really enjoyed it. I don't get this opportunity to tell people how enthusiastic and how passionate I truly feel about the product and about helping others. And it's flattering, honestly, to listen to a little bit about my career. I sometimes go, wow.
Did I do that?
Did I really do all that? But, I think the bottom line to it is, how do you help others? And can BodyWise be helpful in that sense of nutrition and supplementing? Because you can't get it all from foods. We know that these days. Mm-hmm. And so in a more serious way, these supplements can really enhance everyone's lives. And I think the more, Karen and Brad, the more we can bring this to other individuals, the better I feel about ourselves as a company, as individuals, and the better other people will feel also.
Brad has turned down offers from other companies because he just believes in everything you do. And when he looks at other ingredients, he's like, I just can't even promote that in good conscience because of your values, your core values and what you do. It just makes it easy to help support other people's nutrition because I know I don't have to worry. I can put my head on my pillow at night and know that BodyWise is just producing the best quality product they can. And that's just meaningful. And I cannot tell you how grateful we are. And the people that we serve as well, they're very grateful. So we're so appreciative, Bill. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Hey, great to be with you, Karen.